Hi guys, we're going to take you on one of our window cleaning jobs here, show you the job. We're going to walk around the building. You can see these unique challenges to each job. This one has a frontage here that we need to do. So we will be using water-fed system, mostly on the tops of this job. Bottoms we use squeegee, but the tops we use water-fed system. So it's early in the morning, so the problem with this job is that if it's too windy, they generally tend to dry out too quick with the water-fed system. It leaves smears, and if you leave it too late in the morning, early afternoon, it can be too hot, the glass, and again it will smear, dry too quickly with the water-fed system. So best time for this is early morning, preferably when cars aren't parked around the building. Otherwise it's too difficult to get access to the windows. You've got cars parked all around the building and it's awkward to work around them. So we generally do this on a day that there's nobody here for the outside building. It's nice and clear, no cars parked around the building. You can see how long it is. There's quite a few windows, quite a bit of glass, there's doorways. So we spend a few hours on this, making sure the windows are cleaned properly. There is a lot of sea salt and seagulls around this area generally tend to leave their doings behind, so oftentimes we're having to clean seagull poop off the windows. The other thing too is the salt, because it's near the beach. So for that we will mop the windows first, even the top ones. We will use a vinegar and a detergent mix which will lift any dirt and also will lift any salt. You can see on this side coming around the corner here, you'll see that there's a bit of foliage. You've got some palm type trees that are in the way. Pretty hard to get to the top windows from in that area, so we have to do that from the footpath. We go around the fence here, and from the footpath side here, that's why we like doing it early in the morning as well too, because no pedestrians, nobody walking along here early in the morning. So we've got full access here to the glass from the footpath. We can do those tops. Bottoms we have to go through the foliage. We have to do it from the inside that fence line there, but that's not too bad. You just have to fight a little bit of foliage when you're inside there. So here we go back to the job. You can see the water-fed system set up and ready to go, so we'll get stuck into this job and we'll show you how we do it. By the way guys, we really love it if you left us with a thumbs up, and also subscribe to our channel, comment below, and we will try to answer any questions you might have. So again, here we go, we're back into the job now. This is how we start off with this part first. This is the angled glass. So you can see us mopping aggressively on the glass there. We use a special mop. It's got a little bit of bite to it. It's a porcupine sleeve, so there is a little bit of aggression on it. It does, of course it doesn't damage the glass, it's designed for the glass, but it's just designed to lift a lot more of that dirt off these panes of glass. And of course there's a bit of detergent in there along with a vinegar solution. So what that does is that just allows it to move and lift that dirt and that sea salt that oftentimes sits on that glass. So what we do is we mop those panes, those long panes first. We start at the tops up there. We've got a good pole here. This is not a carbon fibre pole for the mop. This is more or less a fiberglass. So because it's only 2-story, fiberglass is fine. It's not too heavy. It doesn't have the rigidity of the carbon fibre poles, but it has enough rigidity to do the job here that we need it to do. So again, we're going up, we're mopping up those sides there. Make sure you get into those edges, those corners and edges, because that's where a lot of the sometimes the salt spray can sit. And once you wash it down, you may leave some residue behind on the sides there. You might you can tell that a good job hasn't been done properly with it if you do that, particularly from the inside when you're looking up and out. So you got to make sure you get into those corners right at the top too. Important to get right into the top, because again, if you leave too much dirt up there and as you wash it down, the dirt will run down from the top down the glass and you'll leave smears. So good that you get right up into those tops there. So we're going to put the fiberglass pole down now, and we're going to go back to the water fed system. We're going to grab our carbon fibre. We used carbon fibre for this. only because our brush head and everything's attached to a good carbon fibre pole, and it's good for not so important on this job, but when you get onto other jobs that are a lot more higher, carbon fibre is so much better. It's light, it's rigid, and you can get a lot of pressure onto the glass that can lift the dirt. As we've said in previous videos, this brush here we've got is a Tucker brush. It's a hybrid, so the centre of it has boar bristles, and that's a nice aggressive type of brush for glass. It will lift dirt really well, and also on the edges you've got the more the plasticky type of bristles. Because they're softer, they'll splay out and you can get into the corners and edges, and that is important, guys, that you get into those edges along the sides there, because again, if you don't, when it dries you'll leave marks down those edges. It doesn't look good. But as you can see, it's coming up good, it's coming up clear. There's a good water flow with this water fed system too. This brush, we've bought a wash bar for it. We put the wash bar on top. Some don't like the wash bars because the wash bar can hit the tops of the sills and it can cause a runoff, but I haven't found that to be too much of the case with the jobs I've got. We've got the jets, of course, in the centre of the brush that are, I prefer to have good water flow. You can see that, I don't know if you saw that, but you can see the water coming out quite nicely. And I found too that what I often do anyway is I will just quickly, once I've done the tops, done the panes, I'll go just quickly over the tops again, just to make sure no smears are going to run down, and that seems to work quite fine for the jobs that I have. So as you can see, it's not rocket science. Just make sure that you do mop the glass first. I find a lot of people maybe just go straight into the water fed system and just use their brush with the water fed system, pure water system. So when we say water fed system, guys, you know that means the pure water system. That's the tank that we connect up to the tap that has a resin in it and takes out all the solids in the water, all the minerals and so on that cause spotting when the water dries. But the tank's taking all that out. The resin that we use is taking all that out, and when it dries nice and clear. So that's coming up really nicely. I'm really happy with that. So again, some just use the water fed system. Like I said, they won't do the mopping, but I found the best results are particularly on windows where there's a lot of sea salt. I've often found that the best results come from doing a pre-mop, which is what I've used there with the you can see the mop head, white mop head just lying there on the glass at the moment. I find that if I go over with that, it just lifts a lot of that sea salt, and then the water fed system, the brush doesn't have to work so hard. Just going over finally with the water fed system just finishes off quite nicely. It is a little bit more extra work, but the results are a lot better, I find. Leave a comment below if you found something different, or you disagree with that, or you've found a system that works better. Let me know. Be happy to know what you're doing. But this is what I found so far works best for me. Some jobs we don't need to worry about it, particularly jobs that we do regularly, because the more regularly you do them, the less obviously the sea salt can sit on that glass. Another thing we find too is the seagull poo that is on the glass. That's a bit of an issue, particularly if it bakes on. Again, the white mop there, particularly we can get a lot more friction on the glass with the edge of it. So what happens then is that it's a lot more easier to remove that seagull poop and that's on there, and the brush doesn't have to work so hard, this water fed system. Sometimes it's a bit of a struggle if the poops dry too much. You're spending a lot of time just trying to get that off, but if you use the system that I've just shown you, use that mop head, get it onto an angle, probably the angle it's on at the moment, as you can see, then use the edge of it, make sure it's got plenty of detergent and vinegar on that mop head. You'll find that you can just about get a lot of pressure onto that glass, and you can lift those stubborn stains and bird poops that are on them. So we're just about finished this frontage here. We're just washing off now, so we go over it, but then we make sure we give it a final wash, just making sure that anything that's lifted has been washed off that glass. So we've finished that frontage. We're just on the sides now. So this is the one I was telling you about, another awkward section. We can't get right below the glass. It's not very comfortable in there. So what we do is we do this from over the fence line on the footpath, and you can see, because we've got a nice carbon fibre pole with plenty of length to it, we can reach that glass, the tops of that glass, quite nicely. And again, you can see the water flow. You can see how much water's coming through that brush. That's really good. It just means that it's going to be washing it off really nicely. I like the good water flow. It means that whatever we lift from that glass is going to be washed off. It's not going to sit there. So that's it, guys. That's one of our jobs, water fed system. Of course, we still got the bottoms to do. Got the rest of the tops to do. Got the bottoms to do with squeegee. So give us a thumbs up, like our video, subscribe to our channel, give us a comment below, and tell us what you do and how you get your windows cleaned in these types of jobs. And we'll see you in the next video.